Hey everyone, still TLR for life here, and I got both of my kits here that are done. All I did was put the just put some wheels and tires on, and that's really about it. I haven't got my bodies back from paint yet. He's still in the process of doing it. It's just going to take some time. I told him I wasn't in a big hurry anyway. So, but I have a couple things here. I was talking about how tight the rear differential is on this, and I'm just going to show you guys what it sounds like with the wheels on. No, it doesn't sound right, but trust me, it is. You know, when it's, you can just hear it, real tight. You want good tooth engagement. I'll guarantee you there's going to be some people out there that are going to freak out and say, man, that just isn't right. I've got to get this thing smooth. Well, what's going to happen is because you have less teeth on the pinion, it's going to wear in, and then the teeth are going to get like what they call clacking. That's where you've got too much play between the teeth in the mesh. You want it this tight so when it wears in, it'll become smooth and you still get that the good tooth engagement. Otherwise, like I said, you're going to start breaking teeth off, and it's going to be a whole world of hell. So just bear with it when you get it like this. It's not going to sound right, it's not going to feel right, but I will show you guys after it wears in what it's like after a few runs. Like I was saying before, I've chucked this in a drill just to kind of initiate the break-in process, but you're not going to put nowhere near the RPMs that the engine can give, and nowhere near the load that this thing's going to get, you know, when it's going down the track. So just bear with that. These kits are just absolutely phenomenal. The shocks are just ridiculously smooth. These larger bore shocks, just you can just feel that they just want to just soak up every little bit of turbulence that these things give off, both the buggy and the truggy. It's just amazing how this suspension is. You can almost feel the difference in the suspension geometry when you push on this compared to like a Loci 2.0 or even the 1.0. They just did a fantastic job on both of these vehicles. I can't wait to get either one of them on the track. They just, everybody, I haven't driven one yet. Well, I take that back. I have drove one buggy for a little bit, and just the difference is like night and day. The car is just sucked down to the track. And from what I've heard already, that the truggy just handles just like the buggy. That's what one of my buddies had told me, because when I picked this up from the hobby shop, there was a guy running his that he had just bought, and I asked him how he liked it, and he said, man, this thing handles just like the buggy. I'm like, oh, sweet. So, yeah, just bear with the build, you know, when you do it, and this differential will loosen up. I will show you guys, like I say, after I get some track time. Mind you, it's going to be some time. What I do have special for you, and I know everybody's going to be excited about this, is finally got one of my engines. This is for the buggy. This is the 21 4-port. The truggy will be getting a 7-port. That'll be coming in probably within the next couple of weeks. So my break-in series is coming up very soon, but there's one problem. Yes, it is March 5th today, and it's 11 degrees outside. So when I go in the garage to break this in, this thing is going to struggle so hard to make 170 degrees, and I want to keep it above 200 degrees. So yeah, you guys are just going to have to bear with me. As soon as the weather breaks, it's going to happen. So if you guys want to see it, I will open it up. I did already break the seal and open up, because when I got home I just couldn't wait to get this thing in my hands. It's still in the bag. I just took the plastic off, and I always save these little seals. Of course, comes with a whole bunch of stickers. I don't even really use these things. So anyway, here it is. Keep off 4-port Nova Rossi rear ceramic bearing. So I'm not even going to really open this thing up until the weather breaks, and then I'm going to mount it on my break-in bench, and I will take it from there and show you guys exactly how I break my engines in. You don't necessarily have to have the break-in bench. I believe that it is a very, very, very crucial tool to have. But you can do it in the buggy or truck, whatever. You can do it in the car. You do not have to do it this way. It just makes it a lot easier because you can stay right on top of the engine and just monitor everything that's happening. And during break-in, I mean, the amount of time that you take to break in your engine, the longer you take and the more care you take into doing it, the better the engine's going to run. It's going to perform better. It's going to last longer. It's just going to do better all around. There's no reason why, if you do the break-in process properly, no matter what method you use, you don't have to use my method. I've turned my method into what it is from various break-in videos and just experience in this hobby that I've had. So, I mean, you know, basically I've seen other people break their engines in, and I've just, all the good aspects I've put into what I've come up with, and I just find really good results with it. So you can just take my video and doing this, and you can come up with your own way to do it. I mean, there's really, as long as your engine is making temperature and getting plenty of lubrication, there's no reason why your engine will perform poorly. If you rush the break-in process and hurry up and take it off of the bench or put a race tune on it before it's completely broken in, meaning that the piston is matched perfectly to the sleeve, it's going to prematurely wear out. So you just want to take your time doing it, and I'll take you guys, like I said, step by step from start to finish and show you the results. You know, I can almost feel now when I know the engine is broken in. You can roll it over and you know if there's a little bit too much pinch left or not enough. I'll show you guys how to do that. It's really not that hard. I really wish I could get this thing started this weekend, but it's only going to be in the mid 30s this weekend if we're lucky. And there's still, God, probably 15 inches of snow on the ground. I'm not going to trust it, because if the engine doesn't make temperature at least to the boiling point of water, you know, 200 to 212 degrees, I'm not going to trust it, because everything needs to expand perfectly and stay there, rather than, because if you heat it up to say 200, and I usually heat them up to 250 degrees, then start it, because when the fuel going in, it's cold. Well, that's the other source of the engine cooling off. So naturally, when the fuel hits it, it shocks the engine and it dramatically drops the temperatures, especially if the ambient temperature is cold. So, I mean, I wouldn't doubt that this engine would probably drop down to 150 degrees, and that's just no good. You want the parts to expand to what the operating range of these engines are. Other than that's how you end up wearing out the parts faster. If the engine gets too cold, things start to shrink, and then the piston and sleeve start to wear faster because, you know, it's tighter. So I'm going to go through and explain all this again when I do my break-in process. I'm just kind of giving you guys a little bit of a heads up of maybe what to prepare for or something. Maybe this will help somebody out. So, I mean, I'm actually more excited about doing this break-in series for you guys than I am doing the build videos, because what good is this without some source of drive, meaning an engine, a motor. You know, these things are pretty much useless without anything that makes it move. So, the engine, or whatever you're using, that's your most important piece, you know, and they're not cheap by any means. Even a inexpensive motor, still a couple $100. So, I mean, I just want to make sure that you guys have the best experiences that I've had, and long lasting, so you're not gonna, you know, burn up an engine in 2-3 gallons. I've seen people do it, saying I only get 3 gallons out of my engine. I'm like, how can you get, you know, they're rushing the break-in process. It's the only thing I could think. And I know OS engines do, like, they perform so good. I mean, I can tell I know an OS engine when I hear it with my eyes closed. I can hear the ting. They just have that, just a really cool sound. But their engine lifespan isn't as long, per se, as like an Italian-made engine. I mean, you could probably get more out of them if you took care of them. I'm not saying that they're junk or anything. I respect them all. But, anyway, like I said, I mean, most of these guys are probably rushing through their break-in process, whether they're experienced racers or not. A lot of people just don't want to take the time and break in and care for their engines the way they should be taken care of. So that's the other thing I'm going to show you guys. You can take the bearings out of these things and clean them, put them back together. You know, a clean engine is a happy engine, especially these things. I mean, one little tiny speck of dust is a huge boulder to these little engines. So, I mean, you know, just keeping your air filter clean. I change my air filters before every single qualifying run. After I practice, between runs, I go through air filters like water. And, okay, a $4 to $5, $6 set of 4 air filters is a hell of a lot cheaper than $300 or $400 for an engine. One mistake, you're done. So, you know, I don't even really like to wash out my air filters. Excuse me, if it doesn't get really, really dirty, I will clean them, but it's only one time. Because, I mean, no matter how much soap and water you use or whatever to clean these things out, when you're squishing them around in your hand and squeezing them, you're breaking the little fibers that block all that dust, so more fine particulates can get in this motor and damage it. So I really don't even recommend cleaning them. I've gotten to the point now where it's just like, man, I don't even want to deal with this. I throw my air filters away, or I'll give them away to somebody that does reuse them. They can have them. I prefer a fresh, clean air filter before every run. I don't care if it's the low-C filter that everybody hates because it's so small, or a giant, huge marshmallow filter that other people like to run on, like your Mugans and your Kyoshos and everything else. It doesn't matter. I'm not trusting that much dirt to get in. And even if it does get plugged up, then your engine's not even breathing right. You're overfueling. You're blocking air going in, letting more fuel go in. Therefore, your engine temperatures go down, and then your engine wears out prematurely. So there's so many different things that go into the factor of, you know, care for your engine. So, I mean, that's a huge thing. I will, you know, swear up and down that just replace your air filter before every run after you've run once. If it isn't really, really dirty, like on a day of practice, you run for 5 minutes and the air filter's barely dirty, no, you don't have to change it. But, I mean, in harsh racing conditions, when there's 10 cars on the track and you're stuck in the middle or up front, all that dust is flying around. It's going on your air filter. There's oil on that air filter for a reason, to catch the dirt going in. You get more cars, more dust, more crap on your filter. So I'm stressing very hard, if you want an engine to last a long time, stay on top of your air filters and care for your engines. Don't be afraid to take them apart, clean them out, re-lubricate them, and put them back together. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time, but it's either that or do you want to spend, I don't know, depending on how much you race, if you burn up 2 motors a year, I mean, that's $600 right there. So, you know, it's just pretty damn important to me that you guys, you know, should do that. So, anyway, I didn't mean to babble so long about it, but I mean, when you get me talking engines, I don't shut up. So, I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, this will be coming up. I promise with all my heart that as soon as this weather breaks, I'm going to get this going. I know there's a few people that are really excited to see this. I'm just as excited as you guys are to see this happen as for me doing it. So just bear with me, and I will stay in touch with you guys. I'll stay tuned to anything else that comes up. When I get my other engine in, maybe I'll let you guys pick. Which one do you want to hear sing? Do you want to hear the 21.4 sing on the break-in stand? Or do you want to hear the 21.7 sing on the break-in stand? Even if you want to see them both run, I can do that for you. I probably won't do a complete break-in series on whichever engine You know, I'm only going to do one engine. So whichever other one that I don't do, I'll show you guys, let you hear it run, and then you guys will hear these things run, of course, in the car. I'll get some track footage for you, so it'll be awesome. Sorry for such a long update, but I just got wrapped up into the engine discussion, and that's where it's at for me, guys. So hope you're excited. Hope this helps, and you guys stay tuned. It'll be coming up. I promise, very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all my subscribers. You guys rock. Thanks a lot. Take care.